Well, hello, my friends, and welcome to the latest spin. I'm Mike Spinner, Student Athlete World USA, coming at you from the home office on a very happy Thursday. I hope you all had a very happy Thanksgiving. And to start off, first of all, the chat is open, and so is the cell. 203-518-8408 is my cell number. If you have questions about our tours, questions about our company, questions about me, or if you just want to say hi, well, I'm live, and everything is great on our end. I hope everyone really enjoyed their holiday, and just to kind of show you the dedication. All right, folks, just to show you the level of commitment as I am broadcasting because we're live. Um, about a mile and a half from where I am is a certain middle school chorus concert that I only put two and two together that was happening this evening a short time ago. So let's just say my son may or may not be in his middle school chorus, and he may or may not be performing live as I'm performing live. And I may or may not have snuck out from said chorus concert to video for all of you. So if I time this right, I'll be able to conclude this video, hustle back over to the middle school and rejoin all the fun without him noticing. We'll just keep that one between you and I. He has been called the songbird of his generation. Step Brothers reference, anybody? And I'm real happy to be here. Let's just say that. So that's number one. Number two, Thanksgiving was great for Student Athlete World USA. We had a bunch of new deposits coming over the weekend, and I know you have no way of knowing this, but there we were on Thanksgiving Thursday a week ago. Tim and I emailing back and forth work stuff. Now I'm not going to lie to you. It's not like we spent an entire day working, but certainly a nice portion of our day was spent serving the people, serving you guys, serving our company and travelers, because that's what we do. We don't take days off around here. And it was funny, and Tim, hopefully you kind of got a laugh. We didn't wish each other a happy Thanksgiving till it was like 8:30 at night. So between family, Thanksgiving stuff, and work stuff, there was a lot of back and forth, but none of which was for the actual holiday until it was almost over. I thought that was kind of funny. But we're working all the time for you, and happy to be in our busy season with interviews coming at us left and right as we steamroll towards our travel season of 2025. So tonight's focus, and I try to do for this show and for these videos, I try to cover topics that it seems like our prospective travelers are bringing my way during these interviews. And there's one area that I've been getting more questions about than any other time during my 3 years with Student Athlete World. And the question that's coming in is about recruiting, about college recruiting and opportunities as a result of our tour. So I want to touch upon that for a second. And it's a bit of a challenging topic to present because the short answer is, will I get recruited as a result of these tours? And the short answer is yes. There's a really strong possibility that our tours, no matter what the sport, will enhance your college recruiting. And there's two reasons for that. One is we have an awesome coaching staff. A lot of our coaching staff are current or former college coaches. A lot of them are high school coaches or travel coaches with big networks. So it has been a very frequent event or happening or dynamic on our tours that someone has come on our tours, they've done a great job, they performed well, they've been wonderful travelers, and the wonderful traveler part is crucial. And as a result, they have received recruiting enhancement from our tours. Our coaches have been more than happy to call their friends who are college coaches when the tour is over. That happens all the time. And we really do have a fantastic staff. So that alone, networking is so crucial in college recruiting. I can't begin to tell you how many times, as you know, I was a college head coach for 12 years. I was an assistant coach for 4. I can't begin how many times I would get a phone call from a friend of mine who's a college coach. Hey, I got a kid for you. Not interested in my school, but really wanted a great opportunity, so I thought of you. Or, Division I coach, hey, the kid's not quite Division I. I was a Division II and Division III head coach. Not quite right for my program, but would be great for you. Those calls happen all the time. And that's what happens on our tours. We have a coach at a certain school who may turn around and say, hey, all right, you're not interested in my school, but I got a friend at this school, perfect school for you. Let me call them. That does happen. So that's a big reason recruiting wise to go on our tour. All right. The other thing is this, as a college head coach, all right, I can advise you on one difficult dynamic about recruiting. At some point during the recruiting process, 98, 99% of you are going to come to the realization that there are a lot of kids who play your position, who are the same age as you, who are every bit as good as you. All right. That to me is one of the cornerstone challenges of college recruiting. That day that you're out there at an ID camp or a prospect camp or a clinic, or even at a competitive event like an AAU tournament or a lacrosse tournament, et cetera, you're out there with a bunch of kids your age, and that first time you realize that I'm not the best of this group. I'm good. I'm producing. I'm capable. College coaches are going to like what they see from me, but I'm not better than everybody. So at that moment, your recruiting process becomes, how do I stand out among this group, this big group that may have the same level of talent and capability that I have? That to me, mentally, huge, I call it mental gymnastics of the college recruiting process. The number one way to distinguish yourself from your peers is your grades. All right. Hey, I'm, basketball. I'm a great point guard. I run an offense really well. I play great defense, hustle, speed, can hit the open shots, can get my teammates involved, can run a system, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So you're a really talented point guard, but there are on the floor others just as good as you are, which means out there's a lot of really good point guards. So I need to find these kind of feathers in my cap to stand out among this big group of point guards in my class. How do I do it? Number one is academics. If you have great grades, you will stand out because not everyone's going to have great grades. And that's any sport, any position, right? And then there are other ways. Character, certainly one of them. But I truly believe to my heart, doing something like an international tour, all right, is going to allow you to stand out in a way that many others will not. Because, let's think about it this way. Class of 2026, the next, kind of class up. All right, if there are 10,000 athletes in the class of 2026 in your sport, how many of them are playing high school? Obviously 10,000, 100%. How many are playing travel? Let's call it 85%, 8,500, right? How many of them have really good grades? Let's call it 70%, 7,000 out of 10,000. So now the field is narrowing. And there are other ways to narrow the field. How many are doing an international sports tour? 1%? 100 out of that group? Maybe. All right. How many, which means how many represent their country in an international competition? 1%. That's a very small group, which makes our tour a way for you to narrow yourself down, to stick out more than that 99% from your class who doesn't do a tour like this one, who doesn't represent their country in competition. Okay. So maybe you won't be recruited in competition on one of our tours, but when you get home, and if mom and dad came on the tour with you and brought their phone or their iPad or whatever they used to record you with, and they record you playing your sport in international competition wearing a red, white, and blue USA jersey, and takes pictures of you in your red, white, and blue USA jersey, and you put that all over your NCSA or Sports Recruits profile, and that is your lead video, I can promise you college coaches are going to notice these things. I can guarantee it because I did that as a college coach. I'm recruiting, I'm a lacrosse coach, one goalie this year, and there are 100 good goalies in that class. All right. And I need a goalie who's going to stand out. I look at grades first, but then it's like, what else is out there? That goalie, as a sophomore, junior, whatever it is, representing the United States in an international tournament, that goalie is going to stand out to me in a way that the ones who didn't do it don't stand out. So can this experience help your recruiting? The answer is absolutely. It can and will help your recruiting. But here's the other part of it. And it's something that my first tour with Student Athlete World, which is United World Games 2023, I did not understand yet, is, there's so much more to this than recruiting. And it's like I stopped being a college coach 8 years ago. And I feel like, and I run a travel program, I coach a high school team. I'm still very involved in my sport as a coach. Um, when did everything become recruiting? All right. What about the rest of the experience of being a high school aged athlete? That's what I think this experience is about. Sure, I want every one of our kids to achieve all their dreams athletically, but I think the simple act of competing internationally, representing your country as an athlete, that's what this experience is. And the analogy I use all the time now is, there are two types of people who go to concerts. One is the one who stresses about how good or bad the seats are, and the other is, the group that, or the individual goes to a concert just to hear the music. And so my piece of advice to you, if you're worried about recruiting, is worry about the music. You have a chance to travel with Student Athlete World USA, see the world, compete in an international event, and wear a red, white, and blue awesome USA jersey in competition. That to me is why you do this. Will you get recruiting enhancement from this experience? I just articulate that. Absolutely, you will. But if that's why you're doing this, you're going to miss all the music. You're going to miss the food, the sights, the sounds, this new group of teammates and friends, some of which will be friends with you for the rest of your life. You're going to get to see the world. And so to me, if your stress or your question about our tour is recruiting enhancement, please take a moment to take a deep breath, okay, and understand why it is we do what we do. Sure, I hope you go on our tour, and because you did our tour, you get to attend and compete at the college of your dreams. But if you don't, if that doesn't happen, and you've had the experience of your life representing our country in competition and seeing the world, well, then you know what? You did it. You heard the music. You enjoyed it. So if you are going to ask a question about college recruiting, please do, but understand there's more to being an athlete than getting recruited. And my fear is if your focus is only recruiting, you're going to forget all those great moments as an athlete, such as what you'll have with us. So rant over about recruiting. I hope that certainly helps answer that question. My cell is 203-518-8408 if you want to discuss further. And now what in the world? Today's What in the World is presented to you by Chevy. Why Chevy? Because I suddenly find myself in the market for a new car. My car of a 2017 Toyota RAV4 has almost 200,000 miles. It is the best car I've ever owned. I love this car. I love driving this car. It still has quite a bit of pep for a car with almost 200,000 miles. And aside from like tires and brakes, I put almost no money into this car. I don't want to see it go, but it's starting to remind me of Peyton Manning his last year with the Denver Broncos. Yes, he won a Super Bowl. Yes, this is the best car I've ever owned, but it's not quite what it used to be, and it's starting to go. And maybe I get something out of it, like a trade-in, like Peyton Manning got a Super Bowl for the Broncos on the way out. But it's time to go. And so I find myself looking for a car I can't afford. I've always wanted a pickup truck. And for a litany of reasons, the Chevy Colorado has stood out to me. And they're doing like a winter clearance sale right now. And I'm going to try to get one using money I don't have. Chevy, you're a sponsor. Take care of me. I need one. My car is on its way out. And I just love this little pickup truck for some reason. I've always wanted one. So if you, Chevy, want to reach our millions of followers in a way you've never reached followers before, take good care of me. And if you're watching this and you happen to be associated with Chevy, 203-518-8408 is my cell. I'm all ears. Let's make a deal here. All right. So what in the world? We'll be a non-sports entity this show for maybe the first time ever since the latest spin started. What in the world about the holiday season? And I know I've been described as a Scrooge before. I'm not a Scrooge. What I realized recently is I just don't understand the holiday season. So we start off with Thanksgiving, which just happened. And I understand the story behind Thanksgiving. I went to school. And I get it. The Pilgrims, Plymouth Rock, and, they shared this feast with the Indians. If they really wanted to celebrate the meaning of Thanksgiving, we would all go to our neighbor's house and just live there. Right? Not to get political about it. And by the way, Eric, if you're watching this, I have no interest in your house. But in general, that is really what Thanksgiving was all about. But we now celebrate Thanksgiving in a way that I just don't get. As many of you know, my favorite hobby is I'm an amateur chef. I love to cook. And Thanksgiving has become a celebration by eating the most bland food available to us, turkey. Does anyone really look forward to eating turkey? Does anyone like, I can't wait to eat turkey this year? No, like it's just such bland food, and you can't really jazz up a turkey. I've tried. Right, there's Cajun turkey, and not bad, but it's still the meat itself is still boring. All right, there's deep fried turkey, and I always love the videos of people deep frying their turkey and almost setting off nuclear war. I find those. I love TikTok because you get to see a lot of that one. But it's turkey. Then there's mashed potatoes. Again, boring, bland. Yeah, put salt and pepper in it. Great. Lipstick on a pig. You don't get more boring than mashed potatoes. I don't care what you do to it. Stuffing, same thing. I have a theory that if you have to enhance the flavor of a food by putting some kind of gooey liquid on it, it's not good. You don't need to eat to begin with. And that's why, and look, I've lost 55 pounds since the start of 2024. I'd stay away from salad because if the food itself is so boring and undeserving that you have to pour liquid or something on top of it to make it taste better, then you shouldn't be eating it to begin with. So turkey, stuffing, potatoes, salad, a lot of others out there. All right. So this year, I actually made a lasagna that I'm still thinking about. It was so good. And in a slow cooker, I made a pot roast that it killed. All right. And so I don't get Thanksgiving because if it's such a special holiday, why are we eating such bland and boring food? Just my own thing. And then, all right, Thanksgiving is over and we're in the holiday season. All right. So yesterday I'm food shopping. And I'm pushing my empty wagon once I load up my car towards the corral where the other wagons are. And there was a guy next to me doing the same thing. And one of the employees of the supermarket, said to him, "I'll take your wagon from here." And his response was, "Happy holidays." Why? Okay, happy holidays. Like, what is it about the holiday season that someone helping me means my response is happy holidays? Thank you was fine. But happy holidays. I don't get it because, like, you can take my wagon any time of year, not just a holiday. He's not doing it because it's the holiday. So why was happy holidays the retort to someone taking his wagon? I don't understand it. And now, okay, we're a week out of Thanksgiving, and I live in an area where there is more than one radio station. And I know some of you, Tim, you only get two stations. One's country, one's Western. So I understand where you're coming from, Tim. But I live in an area where there's so much civilization that you have many, many radio stations to choose from if you don't get XM. And now they're all playing Christmas music, and I don't understand that one. I'll never understand Christmas or holiday music. I'll never understand holiday music. Like, I'm driving. It's busy. There's some traffic. And if the Abracadabra song that Eminem just remade comes on, my hips and shoulders are going on their own to the point where I could barely drive. Okay. I don't have the same response to Here Comes Santa Claus, and certainly not Little Drummer Boy. Okay. I don't get why every station only plays holiday music from Thanksgiving to Christmas. I don't understand it. So I just don't understand this time of year. I understand the gifts. I do understand the gifts. All right. If you're looking to give someone a Chevy Colorado this year, here I am, 203-518-8408. I just don't get the magic and the joy of holiday season. I'm the same guy 12 months a year, good or bad, love me or hate me. I don't change because it's that stretch between Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's not the most wonderful time of year. Okay. The most wonderful time of year is Halloween. You get free candy, and sports are on. That's the most wonderful time of year. But the holiday season, no one has ever made it make sense to me. Christmas lights. There are some get-ups. There's a house in my town not far where you have the light show set up to music. They have to turn to a certain radio station and listen to the music, and it's perfectly synced with the lights, and it's awesome. And I understand that. I don't understand people who have a massive house and decorate one bush. There's lights on one bush. What about the rest of the house? So I don't understand this time of year. So it's what in the world to the people who go crazy this time of year like it's something special? I don't think it's special. I think it's special if you're this festive all year round. Then you're special to me. If you're this happy all year round, give me gifts all year round. I'll be real nice to you. But I just don't understand this time of year. Okay. And I don't get it. So I'm not a Scrooge. as much as I'm in my 40s, and we'll just leave the number at that, and no one has ever been able to make the holiday season make sense to me. So that's me with the holidays. And that's it for the latest spin this week, as always. How do I get involved with Student Athlete World USA? How do I go on tour, have the best experience of my life, coolest thing I'm ever going to do and see the world? There's only one way. Go to studentathleteworld.com, complete your application, interview with me, and pack your bags. You all have a great week. See everyone next week.